everyone.
Hey guys.
Welcome to Adobe Live. I'm your host today, Danielle Morimoto, and I am joined by Whitney Anderson, our special guest
Hello.
for day 3.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Can you believe it's already the last?
I cannot. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
This has been, I feel like I've done this whole process with you guys, and I'm going to be so sad to leave.
It goes by so quickly.
It does.
Yeah, but we're excited to be here and to chat with all of you guys. Jose, everyone, Mercedes, welcome to the stream. We're excited to have you guys. Let us know where you're chatting in from. We're live in San Francisco right now. And this is our graphic design week. We are finishing up the 3rd day. So, whoa, I feel like super trippy there. Yeah.
No.
Speaking of San Francisco.
Yes.
No. And so we'll be wrapping up design. So Whitney will go ahead and she'll summarize sort of what we've been doing on the stream. But before we do, what we've done this week, we've had the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge at 8:30, and Claudia was on at 9. Julia was on at 11 just before us, and we are on right now at 1 o'clock, and that was the schedule that we had earlier this week, and today is the last day. So that means we will today be having portfolio reviews, so stay tuned for that. Make sure that you're submitting your portfolios, and we'll be providing feedback later on in the stream. So submit those, send those in. I see we have some people in from Massachusetts, South America, all over the place. Yeah. Juan likes your hat. We got the hat going on today.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Which is exciting. And we also have our chat and win today. So in about 30 minutes, make sure that you're chatting and heading over to Behance if you're not already there, and engaging with us, and you'll have a chance to win 100 3x3 free Sticker Mule stickers. And it'll be awesome. So yeah, make sure that you stay tuned. And if you have any questions for Whitney while she's working, or around, her career or design questions, she has a lot of client work. We talked a lot about, working with different clients yesterday. Let us know, send it through in the chat. But otherwise, I'll hand it over to Whitney and kind of summarize what we did on day 2 and what you're planning to do today.
Absolutely. All right. So yesterday, we took our day 1 stuff. We're working on this branding for a fictional restaurant in my hometown, Milwaukee. So yesterday we built out some icons and illustrations from that, started playing with color, and decided to go with this color palette here, thanks to the help of you guys. So these were kind of the pieces that we left on yesterday. Some stickers, starting to explore some collateral work, and playing with those icons, seeing if I wanted them 1 color, 2 color. So I've refined these down a little bit, and this is where we're gonna start from today. So we've got our colors here, got our main logo, kind of walked through these yesterday. I put one of our little illustrations with this little logo lockup. And then we've got all of our illustrations in a pattern element now that I can use on business cards or signage or the backs of menus, which we will be working on today. And over here you can see, so I just built out a huge repeating pattern that I can use and just grab from. That's the 2 color if I want to be using that 2 color one. And then I did one that's just that 1 color outline as well, if I want to use that for anything. Also started working a little bit on, here you can see some more of our little food elements with that logo.
The food elements are great. I love those so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like it gives it so much character.
I like the little egg a lot.
The egg is
I feel like I'm really falling in love with the egg. So this restaurant, we talked about this being a 24-hour open, like grab and go type of place. So I wanted to do something that kind of represented some of the different types of foods that might be offered. Whether that's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or like vegetarian options. So did one with the carrots down here that could be used to denote different types of menus maybe. And then some more exploration. Yesterday we left off, let's see. Oh, here we go. This one right here. I kind of just had a couple of big general shapes behind this, but I wanted to go a little bit more refined. So got it to this point here. So that might be a sticker that guests can take when they leave. These might be little marks that could be used on the menus or other pieces. And then starting to work on coasters. So first today, I'm gonna work on coasters a little bit more. And then we're gonna jump into the menus, which I'm super excited for.
Awesome.
So yeah, as you can see, this was something that I just thought of this morning, maybe putting some of these illustration elements on here. These were kind of the ones I was playing with yesterday that were mostly just text-based, but I figured, maybe pull some of these elements into here. So this one I really liked was like, oh, maybe I'll do something that's really bold, really high contrast for one side. But then I started playing around with color and thought maybe this subtlety would be really nice because then I could put a colored logo on top. I'm gonna try another one here.
It's funny because Olivia in the chat is saying my artboards during a branding project look like a train wreck compared to yours.
Oh my gosh.
But we were talking about like process, like copying and pasting all over, and sometimes it gets a little messy.
Yeah, this is even pretty refined. Like usually they look much worse than this. Like I did try to keep things pretty organized just for your sake. But every day I've kind of had my different, pieces that I was working on. Yeah. And for each day I've been copying them into new artboards just to kind of keep things more organized and simplified for you guys. But don't worry.
Knowing that people are watching does change it a little bit.
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's great. You just copy and paste because you don't want to lose that original one. Oops. I made a mask here, so just gonna grab these guys and see if I like it on orange better than the dark color. This still is the stage where I'm just trying a bunch of things out, and I'll probably show the client like one or two of these options, whatever I think looks best together. But for now, again, just kind of trying anything and everything and seeing where I get. So on these, I have the multiply opacity on. So if you're in your appearance panel and you click this little opacity, usually it will say normal. Oops, that does say normal. If I click that whole thing, okay. Usually this says normal. If you click multiply, so let's go normal, it's the same color. If you click multiply, it's like if you're printing, like screen printing, and you get that overlap of color. I just like to do this in projects. Again, I kind of try and mimic some of those hand printing techniques, those analog techniques, and this is one way that you can do that. So that's the orange version. Maybe we'll make this logo.
That's an easy way without having to kind of go through and pick your colors and figure out that color palette, just to find some nice tones that go well together when you just kind of multiply.
Absolutely.
From that.
All right, so so that's what I did for both of these.
Nice.
That's just that green multiplied, and this is that orange color multiplied. So kind of like both of those. I'm thinking maybe since I have this really organic illustration element on one side, maybe I would put something like this on the back side.
Yeah, and David in the chat is kind of like, there's blend modes in Illustrator? Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's very similar, right? It's essentially blend modes. You have the exact same features there with multiply. Like, they react the same way. It's just under your colors in Illustrator.
Yeah. It's in the, where is it? Yeah, little appearance, opacity, that little, for anyone who missed it. So yeah, the multiply one I use a lot. I know we talked about programs that we work in, and I'm like 95% Illustrator.
Yeah.
I knew about this before I knew that panel existed in Photoshop. Like, I didn't even realize that was something that was in Photoshop. So,
I would love the Illustrator team to come out with, like, so Photoshop just came out with live blend mode. So when you hover over each one, it just, like, in real time shows you what it will be. I'd love to have that here. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. All right, so, like, maybe these are two options that I present for coasters. Maybe I'll make this one orange. And then I'll leave that one dark just so that they can have a couple options. Or they could even, you know, mix and match, see if they like these, that front, that back better together. Since all of these colors, we talked about this color palette, everything works pretty nicely together. So if they wanted to mix and match that, that would be fine. So I'm just gonna pull these over into, let's just make another artboard. Couple more. All right, so I feel like coasters, feel pretty good about those. We've got some stickers here. Feel pretty good about these options. Maybe I'll give those as a couple of options. These could even exist as sticker designs also if they wanted those. I really liked this set as maybe a little 4 sticker set if they have a little like sheet that they all come in one. So we'll give them those.
Ooh, Paul was like, I imagine the silverware wrapped in a cloth with that pattern. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. Or like even, you know how sandwiches or wraps are sometimes wrapped in like a printed paper. I feel like that would be one use for this. Yeah. I think just having as many design assets as possible for a company is like, I just love it. You keep thinking of all of the applications that you could possibly use them for. And, you know, sometimes depending on the client, maybe they won't have the budget to do custom printed sandwich wraps. But presenting those things as the creative, I think they might not have ever thought about that. And it might be something that makes them stand out against some of their competition or, you know, another sandwich shop down the street or whatever. Yeah. So just bringing those ideas up, even if maybe it's not something they do right away, maybe if they don't have the budget or they just don't want to do that right now, maybe they'll be able to do it down the line.
Paul's on a roll. Fry basket with paper.
Yes, fry basket.
True. That's another good idea. Yeah. Yeah, so many elements. But it's like that's when you think about branding in general and how there are so many opportunities to put your mark on it and to like make a cohesive system and look and feel for a brand. And when you have all these design elements, you can really play with it.
Absolutely. And I think it's really helpful for someone to, especially someone who doesn't already have that creative mind or the creative eye, it helps them imagine how their brand could be applied to different things. You know, showing them mock-ups, like Photoshop 3D renders and mock-ups that you can easily plug your designs into. I feel like those are always great.
Yeah, you could take it over to Adobe Dimension and pull it onto, you know, pull your design in there and make like a more realistic rendering of something.
All right, so I've got some sticker options I'd show, got my coaster options. Gonna do a little business card before we hop into the menu designs. And this is even something that I could picture on like a giant sign outside of their place. Any of this stuff could be applied to so many other things as well. Just have to be creative.
Yeah, this is really coming along. I feel like it's crazy to see where we started on like day one,
for sure,
and then coming all the way to
like
here.
Really
just like
gritty,
from a hand
sketches.
sketch. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. I think when you start playing with color too, that's really when things come to life, and like using these like overlay tools, or like slightly, you know, having some kind of off registration gives things a lot of texture and dimension. You know, I mentioned earlier in the week that I really try to use illustration whenever I can, whenever it's applicable, however you say it. And I feel like, yeah, that just, it adds so much character to a branding system.
So Liz is wondering, I made a portfolio a while ago and have been doing many side projects. The thing I'm struggling with is getting those paid commissions. Like tips? Any tips on that?
Yeah, so you said, are you like putting these out on the projects that you've worked on, or your portfolio? Are you putting those in front of the eyes of other people? Like, are you posting about those as much as you can on social media? I've gotten a lot of clients just through Instagram because I post a lot of personal
you have a great
projects.
Instagram feed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So nice. It's probably mostly because of my dog. Like, I post a lot of photos of my dog.
You can't go wrong, right? Yes. I don't know.
But yeah, I post a lot of what I'm currently working on, if I can. If it's a client project, you know, a lot of that stuff I can't post until months later when things are wrapped up. But just posting passion projects that I'm currently working on, or, you know, if I get some free time and I have an idea just buzzing around in my head, I'll just, you know, take a couple hours and make it and post it. And you really never know who might come across it.
Yeah, Liz says that their work is on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Cool. Yeah, I would just continue doing that. Like, there's honestly no way to know when someone's going to reach out, like, which is frustrating. But also you should do some outreach too. If there are companies or brands that you want to work for, or even just making a post that's like, hey, did you know I do freelance work? Like, these are some of the things I do. I do like branding or business card, you know, just kind of telling people, hire me. I'm taking on work. I have time to take work on. Because I think unless someone is like really knowledgeable about that, they might not know. They might not just be like, oh, I can email this person and they will do work for me. But yeah, doing some outreach too. You know, the worst that they can say is like, we don't need any designers right now, or like, we don't need any designs right now. But that at least will start a relationship. If they are like, oh, we don't need anything right now, but maybe a few months down the line we will, and we already have your contact info. So I think that's a good way. It isn't going to get you immediate work maybe, or maybe it will. Maybe you'll connect with someone at just the right time and they'll be like, oh yeah, I actually was just thinking the other day that we need a freelance designer and we really want to do XYZ. So you really never know. I think that's just a couple of ways that I would go about it.
Yeah. Yeah, great question, Liz. Thanks for asking.
All right, working on some little business cards here. I think I'm gonna take a similar approach to what I did with these, kind of that subtle overlay. So I'm gonna use this cream color that's in my brand, and just gonna grab one of these, come over here. Oops. Make a little mask. All right, so I've got my little rectangle. And I'm going to multiply that. So this is just a nice little subtle application of that pattern element that I have going on. And probably just pull my little logo mark here. And again, I'll probably show them a couple of options of business cards, both fronts and backs. Get a couple of color options that I like. And depending on the client, sometimes I will suggest different printing processes too, if there's something that I think would be really cool. Like, it would be awesome if this pattern was maybe just blind embossed. You know, that's something too that, like, do they have a budget for it? How large is this company? Are they gonna need like 20,000 business cards or 500 business cards? So it's just kind of something that I like to think about when I'm working on this stuff too. Something like coasters, I feel like is really nice if those are letterpressed, something that's a little bit thicker and like grittier, or like almost like a chipboard something. So I feel like that would be something cool to recommend. And providing a couple of quotes from various places, or giving them a recommendation of where they could get that done if they want to go that route.
So we have a couple of questions in the chat coming through. I'm going to start with David's, which is sort of around like talking about the creative eye. Do you think it's something you're born with, or something that can be learned?
Ooh.
Yeah, sort of a larger general question there.
I feel like to an extent you have to be born with it. I think you can learn a lot of the technical skills around design and like art, you know, various types of creativity, I guess. But
yeah, you can refine it.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
But I think to an extent you do have to be born with it. And I think if you're not born with it, I don't know, you probably don't have as much of like a drive or a passion for it as if you are. Like, I think, I don't know, for me, I don't have a drive or a passion for a lot of various things. And I probably could learn a lot more about them, but I just don't want to, which makes it, I don't know, just a lot harder. I think if your heart is in it, you probably have been born with it. If you have like a huge passion for it, I feel like it's probably there. And of course you can hone your skills, and kind of the technical side of it you can learn. But I don't know. I feel like
everyone is creative to some extent, for sure. I think it's just a matter of refinement, and like if you really learn more about certain areas and like processes and stuff like that, then you can really become an expert in that area.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. We had one other question. Since you're working on the business cards right now, Olivia's wondering how many options for like stationery, or I guess even for these business cards, do you generally provide to the client?
Usually I'll do like 2 options. So backing up, this thing that we're working on, this branding suite, this is all one color palette of one option. So I usually will present 3 completely different like brand directions, maybe 1 or 2 like color palette options, and then within that like all of these different pieces, so that they can kind of get a feel for what it would look like in application. So I guess total they would maybe have like, I don't know, 6 to 10 different business card options, because there would be like 2 or 3 for each separate brand direction.
Yeah.
If
And we
that
talked
makes
about
sense.
yesterday, like not showing anything that you don't like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like not over showing like a ton of options, but really the ones that you like and you think are like the best options that you would want them to move forward with also.
For sure.
Yeah, we also, so do you handle, Mandy's wondering, do you handle the production when working with the clients, or do you just hand over these files to them?
That also depends on the client. There have been quite a few that I've worked with where I've been able to work with local vendors. We have a really great like letterpress studio in Milwaukee, so I've worked with them a little bit. I will always try to recommend places to companies. None of that production is included in my cost. So like when I quote a project, that's straight up just for the design work. But I absolutely, if they want to go a certain direction for business cards or are wanting to, produce enamel pins, like I've done a lot of enamel pins, so I can help facilitate and be like, hey, order from these places and get your business cards printed at this place. So I can like help facilitate that. But most of the time, places, oh, I have always ordered my business cards through whoever. So I'm like, okay, well, here's your print ready file. And like you can continue doing what you always have done. So it kind of just depends, client per client, something.
Based on the client.
Based on the client.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit, but Johanna today is wondering if you can talk a little bit about like pricing this kind of work, like pricing out the branding that you do.
Yeah, so I always will give 3 tiers. So I'll do like a basic, a standard, and then professional, or just what I call them. They all come with like a brand discovery, brand questionnaire. The first one is pretty much just basic, like fonts, colors, the logo mark, and maybe a secondary mark or little tagline, slogan, something that they can use. The second would come with like more business cards, and if they need like a pamphlet or a label or something for some of their items. And then the third is kind of a more built out packaging suite, I guess. And then each of those also would come with more rounds of revisions. Like the first one would have like, I don't know, 2 rounds of revisions, and the second one would have 3 rounds of revisions, and so on. So really just based off that, I think people love having options, and I think it gives them more of a feeling like they're in control. If they're like, hey, how much will it cost me to do this? And you just are like, here's the number. Sometimes they're like, oh, okay, that sounds great. Sometimes they're like, oh, well, like, what does that come with? What am I paying for? Or like, that's scary. Or like, so if they know what they're getting for those prices, or like every company has different needs too.
Yeah, because you do more of the like bundled packages versus just
Yeah.
hourly, which are two of the sort of main options you can do there.
Yeah. I've just found it works better for me. I think, everyone works differently, but I feel very constricted when I'm working hourly. I get like really stressed out when I'm like, okay, I have to make this thing in X amount of hours and it better be good. Otherwise, whatever. It doesn't work for me. I think I work a lot better without it.
Yeah.
Ooh, chat and win.
It is yes. So we've hit our countdown. That means it is time for Chat and Win. So make sure that you're heading over to Behance if you're not there already, and you're just being active in the chat. And we will announce soon our winner of the 100 free Sticker Mule stickers. So with that, this is Chat and Win. With the random things. welcome back.
Woo!
All right, so make sure you're being active in the chat,
Yeah, get on that
and you can
chat.
get a chance to win. Your hat it's
everyone.
less trippy
I know.
now, but sometimes
when it's little,
it gets,
it's like
yeah, it's like
Sorry.
really trippy
I'll try
in
not
the
to
way
move.
that
I can
no,
take it
it's
off.
all good. Yeah, I'm excited for the menu stuff for today.
Yeah,
Getting
yeah.
to the menu is going to be exciting, so we
Yeah.
can start to pick.
And I think I've decided that since it is 24 hours, I'm gonna break it down into sections too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
like kind of different offerings per what time of day it is. So, yeah.
Have you thought through like what the food types are yet? Of like what do you think you'll
So,
get to the details like that?
Yes, I have some typed up already. I wasn't sure how far we would get today in the
Okay.
design process, so
Yeah.
I have some prepared, and then if we get further than that, we'll kind of go.
Hey guys, I have a winner.
Look who it is!
Elijah Blackie.
Woo! We have a really beautiful random appearance from the man behind the scenes,
man.
working all the strings. Paco.
Yes, the
Thank you.
Paco,
Congratulations,
the profiteer.
Eliza.
Yes. Nice job.
You're the winner of 100 free 3x3 die cut sticker mule stickers. And so, sorry, I'm super thrown off by that. I knew that was going to happen. I'm still thrown off by it. It's all good. If you did not win in the chat today, you can still use this code and get 10 stickers for $1. So feel free to
great deal.
head over and do that. Yeah, we've been like designing stickers. This is also very relevant.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be fun to see yours like physically
Oh,
printed
yeah. Yeah.
as well.
We should print some.
Yeah, good old Paco coming on the stream. I'm so excited we got you on the screen today.
Always behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Until
everyone
today.
needs to see what you look like. It's a
He
mystery.
makes it happen.
I don't know if have you been on before? Has your face been on the stream?
Very rarely.
Rarely. Ooh, you guys have seen a rare
That was a treat
appearance.
for
Yes.
you guys. You're welcome. You didn't even realize it.
Yeah. I mean, if you look over at, if we move over to my screen, I mean, I have some of Whitney's work up here, but also, oh snap, look who it is! Didn't see that coming, did you? Again, the man. Yes, that's what you got. We've had a little thing going, but I had to figure out a way to get that up there. So
These
that's
pranksters.
Yeah.
Oh my
Back
gosh.
at you. That's what has happened after being on the stream from last week and bringing up the zombie baby again. Finally brought up Paco. All right.
Finally got him.
We'll transition back to
Got
working on
him.
this.
Yes. One of these days. That's okay. You guys can continue feuding back and forth.
Yeah.
I'll just be over here designing.
Oh, just
designing some business cards. All right. So I think all that I want on here is just really basic. We're gonna put, well, we've got the little grays around the clock here. I did put this little slogan on here, just Milwaukee's favorite 24-hour one-stop shop for quick, tasty bites. So I think I might put that on the business cards. And then I'm just gonna put the address and phone number. It's 24 hours, so I don't need to put hours or anything on there. Copy that.
quick, tasty bites. I like
Quick,
it.
tasty bites. Thank you. This is just what I want in a restaurant, so had to make it happen. All right, so my font that I've been using for these little taglines and stuff is Sweet Sans Pro, so I'm just gonna use that on these as well.
Mercedes says, loving the coaster and overall color palette.
Cool,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's a very yummy color palette.
yummy.
Yeah.
Where is my? Oh. All right. Oops.
Oh, Tim, you have a better version for me? Make sure we'll connect after
Maybe
this. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
We're just all gonna get.
I'm still, I don't want to like level up too fast. I wanted to come in, you know, like just medium.
come in medium.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but I do have, like, this is a super subtle, I guess, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really light.
Really, really, that one's super
Was that
light.
the multiply?
So that is the multiply, but it's the multiply of this color.
Oh, okay.
It's not the deep green. Just wanted to see what it looks like. I might just end up throwing that out, but it is a very subtle little guy. Oops. Oh, I already had that on here. Okay. Maybe I'll try a couple of different little...
With something like that that's so light, like, and do you test print anything yourself beforehand?
Yeah, I
for
will.
colors? Okay.
And this too, like, that might just be something that, like, when it's that subtle, I probably wouldn't leave it like that. Or this would just be an example of, like, a blind emboss to, you know, show them, like, hey, this is going to be there, kind of, and texturally, but not really. So it might just be a way to illustrate that a little bit. But yeah, I probably would not leave that light. This, I feel like, is a lot better.
Definitely, yeah. So for those of you who are just joining us, a reminder that in around 50 minutes, we're going to be doing the portfolio reviews. So make sure that you're submitting, and then Whitney and I will be taking a look at those and providing feedback for you guys. And then we are just going through, and Whitney is working on the branding of a restaurant, and she started on Tuesday, and it's the third and last day, so we're kind of seeing it all come together really nicely and starting to work on the different pieces of it, and we'll get to doing the menu, which is exciting as well. But if you have any questions, any other questions for her or myself, send those in over the chat and we'll answer those.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think this, so go with one that's maybe left justified, one that is centered. And just kind of give them a couple of options. Or if there's one that I think, you know, outweighs the other, I would just send that. Like we mentioned earlier, this whole set would be just one of like 3 complete options that they would see. So it wouldn't just be this business card. They'd have other business cards with the other logo options as well.
For the client.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Kind of want to do something different for that one. Maybe we can grab some of these elements. Don't want the overlay on this. Oops. Maybe this one is just a little bit bigger and bolder. Oops. And then this can just be a fun little element that bleeds off the edge. I don't know, something like that. But I really want to get into menus now, so we'll call those good for now.
Menu time.
All right, so for menus, we talked about the food at this place, 24 hours. Going to go with an all-day breakfast menu, a lunch menu, dinner menu, and then just like
Late
beverages.
night?
Yeah. Oh, well, yes, late night too. I was going to group like dinner, late night would be one. So pretty much you'd have all day breakfast. So this will be all day. Lunch would be served from noon to like 4, and then dinner to late night would be after that. So as far as sizing, some companies, I feel like there have been quite a few different types of menus that I've worked on before. Some are just really disposable, like printed on paper. They reprint them all the time. Some will be laminated. Some will be in those really nice like leather bound books. Really all over the board. So these, I think I'm just gonna have, I'm picturing these as a disposable, but something that is a little bit thicker, like a cardstock. And I'm gonna go with a 11 by 4 1/4. So like 8.5 by 11 folded hot dog style. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Hot dog style. We're on the topic of food. Everything has to be a food analogy.
And you already have a hot dog drawing. So
yes,
it's very
exactly.
appropriate.
Yeah, hot dog style. So I'm just gonna do. Okay, so when I've done menus in the past, when I'm just figuring out my layouts and my ideas, especially if there's gonna be illustrations involved, I will always do that first initial design process in Illustrator, just because I feel more comfortable in it. I feel like my workflow is a lot faster to be able to quickly change things around. And then once I have a final design that I'm happy with, I will recreate that in InDesign and print from InDesign. I just feel like it's a better tool for some of that print work. But yeah, just for my workflow and to be able to kind of play with things in the initial phases, I always start out in Illustrator. We're gonna make a couple of, oops. All right, so these are gonna be my menu sizes. 4 1/4 by 11. It's a good print to up to a page, unless I end up having a design that has a bleed on it, then, you know, it would just be printed on a larger sheet and they'll be cut down to this anyways. So I think just for ease of legibility, still gonna go with a light color with dark on top of it. I don't think I'm gonna need the back side of these just because I don't have that many menu items. So the back side is gonna let me kind of just have some fun, play around with that like pattern element, and do some other things like what we did for the coasters and the stickers. So I'm gonna go over to my pattern, grab one of these so I can make a mask. And I'm not sure if I want to do this 1 color or 2 color. Doesn't really matter because I'm just going to be digitally printing these. They aren't going to be letterpressed or anything. So, you know, there's no like cost saving to go 1 color over 2 color.
Let us know in the chat if you have a preference, if you'd like to see
Yeah.
it sort of 1 color, the 2 color option on the menu.
Or even like some of these overlays, maybe doing that as the back side of the menu.
Yeah, overlay, 2 color, or 1 color.
Well,
a lot of options.
Yeah, give your vote, and then I'll just quickly make one of each, and
Perfect.
then you can see if you like what you voted for. All right, so gonna grab that and do a mask. Then we'll do one of the 1 color. What's it looking like? What are people thinking? Overlay?
Liz likes the overlay.
Cool. Okay, let's Let's try these two for now.
Are you gonna be putting text on top of that as well?
I think so for the backside, I think just the logo.
Okay.
Any of the menu info sides, I'm gonna keep this cream color that we have in our branding. Maybe I'll put like which menu it is on that back darker side. Like breakfast, lunch, late night, whatever.
Nice. All right, I think the chat so far, everyone's saying overlay, Alexandra, Beck, overlay would look nice.
Cool.
Joey, ooh, unanimous. We've got overlay as the unanimous option so far.
All right, so we'll do a green one like we have our coaster. I really like the green overlay. I like how dark it is, and I feel like putting that orange on it looks really nice. I think I'm gonna try white for our text. Okay, so if everyone's voting for overlays, do you like the green or the orange better for menus? Or maybe we also have blue. We could do like breakfast. This should be late night because this is dark.
It's dark, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll do this for breakfast because I feel like sunrise, sunshine.
I like that, yeah.
And then we'll do blue for lunch, and then you can easily tell between all of them. This is really weird, like designing in live time and having these ideas live in front of people. I'm like, oh, I could do that. Wait.
Yeah, Blanca was saying orange.
Cool. We'll do one
says
of those.
the blue, but yeah, it's nice. I think if you do sort of one for each.
Yeah. Let's try it.
Yeah, Trent, good idea. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, having the different tones for each.
Cool. Oops. Cannot select what I want to. There we go. All right, so this would be our breakfast one. And then
Yeah, and Alexandra's saying that it's nice, like on the green one, because the white logo pops a lot on the dark one.
for sure. Yeah, it's a little bit harder to see on that orange one. We'll see. Maybe this won't be a good solution. Ooh, that's a whole other color completely, but that's kind of cool. That's very retro and funky, I feel like. I'm gonna say that white is not legible on there, but I like it. Okay, let's make all these blue. Well, that's pretty legible. That logo on there. I might move it. Well, let's see what it looks like.
I feel like it's
If
simply
it's
because
better
it's right
dark.
over the onion, which has the most
Yeah.
lines to it.
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, we'll center these a little bit better. Is that more legible,
that
you
helps
guys?
for
Yeah,
sure.
this one definitely is still the most legible,
Yeah, the
but
contrast is.
I think having that option for all of them is pretty cool. And then maybe I do the cream one for beverages.
So Trent's wondering, like, would you lower the opacity of the tone of the pattern at all, ever? Because that would,
Yeah.
though, change, like, you do have
Definitely.
very distinct colors that you're trying to use across. Like, do you ever sort of just tweak one little thing because of the consistency, or do you change it?
I guess that kind of depends too. There definitely are brands where like I wouldn't even do these overlays just because they create new colors introduced into the color palette, I guess. But yeah, there are some that I'll give them a more expanded color palette where they would need to use more colors, like give them their 3 main colors and then like these different, you can use any opacity of this color, or different tones or values of that color if they're needed.
People are liking the blue though. Yeah.
The blue? Cool. Okay. Just get our white one done here. And again, like these are kind of slightly off right now. This would be something that I would come back later. Just really trying to nail down colors and rough placement right now before I move into like InDesign to do a final. So that would probably need to be, this one would probably be fine with any of the colors. We'll just leave it orange for now. So that would be kind of my little theme for these. With something like a menu that is a lot more in-depth, I probably wouldn't provide them more than one option per like branding identity suite. Just because they are a lot more in-depth, I would go with whatever one I think works best for them and what fits the brand the best. And, you know, obviously they could come back to me with feedback, but just like putting that initial work into it, I would just build out the most finalized, well put together menu that I could from the start. And then, you know, if they had any changes that they wanted, I would just go from there.
Yeah, and for those of you in the chat, someone mentioned that they missed it about the overlay colors, if they were tints or how that was being done. So those you use the blend mode and use multiply simply on top of it. And so when she brought it over, it added sort of that other color tone.
And now that I'm looking at this more too, I don't like it, so I'm just gonna delete that. I don't think I would ever pull those different colors into overlays on each other. I think there's enough color with our color palette plus the overlay colors that I don't think we would need that. Okay, so what is this? This is late night.
So Lisa has a question for you. How and when did you bloom from the student work phase? So in other words, how did you get from the point where you were consistently satisfied with your work?
Oh gosh, I still am not. I feel like most of the time. No, that's not true. I have a really hard time deciding when a project is finished.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I feel like I am still, when I work on projects, even if I look at it, you know, I say, okay, this is done, this is final. And then I go back to it like a month later. I'm like, oh, I could do this, or I should have done this. But, you know, I just have to let go and use those ideas in another project in my future or something. But I think, I don't know, it probably was shortly after I finished school, when I started making a lot more projects that I wanted to make because I had a little bit more time, and just, you know, figuring out what kind of work it was I wanted to be doing. And even if they were fake projects, just working on that kind of stuff. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, thank you.
It's hard. Sometimes I feel like it's nice to have a deadline because I feel like as designers, like you could keep refining and refining and like kind of nitpicking or like creating other options like for so long that sometimes you just kind of like need that like hard deadline to be like, okay, I just got to make a decision. We're going to move forward with this one.
Absolutely. I don't know. I was thinking it would be cool maybe if I have this bleed off. Or maybe this isn't centered, our logo up here, so it kind of balances that out down there.
Val also said these panels look like they could make like for a really fantastic sign, like hanging out in the storefront.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this would be like cool little banners or something.
Yeah. I dig it. And yeah, we were talking about those sandwich wraps, like, you know, any of these could translate over to that sandwich wrap pattern.
Someone said earlier too, which I forgot to mention, but I thought it was a good idea, was like, whoa, like embroidered stuff, like, you know, like on like staff uniforms.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat mentioned that.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant, and then I forget. I, didn't mention it out loud, but
Unbelievable.
Getting a shout out now. It was a great
Yeah,
idea.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a very tactile person, so any cool like swag or collateral that a place wants, I'm like always all for that.
Yeah.
This is, what is this? This is breakfast. Maybe something that like bleeds off the edge a little bit. Sometimes, oh my gosh, you guys, instead of doing like what I probably should do, if I'm just trying to look at what something looks like bleeding off the edge and I don't want it hanging off, I just like throw random rectangles on top of it. Like, am I supposed to do that? I don't know. Probably not. Do other people do it? I hope so, because it's really fast, but I don't know why it's not my same color gray though. That's weird.
When you pull, yeah, it doesn't grab the same.
Weird.
Necessarily, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Nathaniel's
usually
liking
I
the
feel like
side
it does.
text though.
Side text, yeah. This, I feel like someone said that the green already feels really like class. I don't remember. Was it classy or like?
Yeah, it was sophisticated.
Something?
Or
Yeah,
something
there you
like
go.
that, yeah.
And I feel like having this luxurious,
Maybe
yes, having this little like everything centered, I feel like adds to that. So, yeah, I think I feel the side text a little more. Is that
Alexandra says that they do the same thing with the rectangles.
Okay, good.
Too. So you're not the
Good.
only one.
Good.
It's one of those things where I feel like how there's the preview like mode in InDesign where you can get. I would love to have that in Illustrator.
Yes.
So like if you had it on an artboard where you could just shortcut and kind of only see the elements off of it.
Except my problem is that nothing like
You have
these aren't
everything
even
off.
on an artboard right now.
Yeah.
And I would have to have everything like on its own artboard too.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't like where'd my little when I had all of these, I'm like trying to point to my screen, but I have to use the mouse so you guys can see. But yeah, when I was doing these and I was just quickly masking those so that you didn't have to look at all the ragged edges, but
yeah.
all right, so I like this outline here. I had an outline, I did this like outlined logo version. I thought I had, I did like that little thing that has some overlay and an outline. So I think I might try and use the outline as long as it's legible enough. Do you guys think that's legible enough? I feel like it is, but
yeah.
It's pretty big text. 61.99. We could just make this 62. Yeah, I think we'll just go with that for now. I'm not super sure where I want that. I think it's fine up there. I don't know, maybe bleed that off a little bit too. Maybe that's too much bleeding off of everything.
So Peter's wondering, when do you make bleeds for printing? After you're done with the client or when you start working on the project?
So when I go, when I go to make my print ready files, like none of these business cards, where'd they go? Like these don't have the bleed on them yet. I would wait and save all of that production stuff until after I have their final decisions of everything. So like when I am building this out in InDesign, I would include my bleeds there. Once I'm making separate files for like the front and back of business cards, or postcards or any signage or anything, that's when I would include those.
That makes sense. Olivier also had a funny, like a different take on like the colors you had with like the green, dark green being what? Irish restaurant type food, the orange being like more spicy food, and the green, cyan green being fresh food.
I like that.
Yeah.
I dig that. So I
Although
kind
it'd
of
be
like
quite the eclectic restaurant.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
Irish
doesn't
food
exist, so
and-
it can
yeah.
it can
That's true,
honestly
it could
be
be
whatever
that.
we want, guys. We'll build this menu. I'll take one menu item from every person in the comment. We'll just make.
Can you imagine sitting
the
down at a
best.
restaurant and them giving you 3 menus and being, would you prefer spicy food,
Oh my God.
Irish pub food, or fresh food?
I feel like
We have it all.
There's already way too many decisions at restaurants, I feel like.
Sometimes I don't trust restaurants that have too many. I feel like that's like the telltale sign
Sure.
where it's like they might not have the best food when
Sure.
they just have like so many options of
Yeah.
every style of food.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I'm specifically thinking back to college's very specific place that had late night food that you could get
Oh.
any type of food you wanted.
But sometimes those are just the best.
Yeah.
The worst,
Convenient,
but the best.
the
Yes.
best because they're the worst.
Yes. All right. I think I kind of dig this little hanging off the edge just a little more aligned to this side. Kind of balances out this that we've got going on down here. I don't know. I'm trying to think of if there's any other text that I want on here or any other elements. So might come back to that for now or later, but for now, we'll just replicate that on all of our menus.
Nice. These are looking pretty good.
Thank you, thank you. All right, and yeah, that one I'll have to change the color of. This is late night. Okay, so I think we'll go, oops, late night as its own, breakfast as its own, and then I think I'm just gonna group lunch and dinner together. That would be the more sandwichy stuff. Just kind of normal food, lunch and dinner food. Or maybe that's gonna be too long. Can I just call it Linner? It's my restaurant. I'm
You
calling
can
it
do whatever you
Linner.
want, yeah, in that case.
I might just stack them instead.
You stack them or like hairline or...
Yeah, actually, let's go back and just do a slash. Doop, doop, doop. And I'm just gonna make all of these a little bit smaller. Let's go like 58. Yeah, that's a little better. Cool. And then beverages. oops, Ebbaverdres. I'm very good at spelling. My fingers just type in the wrong order a lot, so Command I in Illustrator is like my best friend. Spell check all that stuff.
Nice. If you want to switch over to my screen, there has been some conversation in the chat now that we've been talking about like seeing the edges and not seeing the edges. So I have this illustration that I started on the iPad, and it's like I have all these little bits going off of the artboard. So there's a couple different shortcuts so you don't see like the edges on it. So one, so thank you for putting these in the chat as well, is view and then trim view. And that way, like you're not seeing at all like anything that's going off the edges. And you can turn that on and off. And there's also Shift F, which will just give you like a full preview that you could take a look at. And I'll escape from that. But I mean, again, you do have to work then on the artboards, but this is like an update that they did make. But I mean, when you're working fast, like, and you're working on your own, like that, those are just like the natural hacks I feel like you end up doing.
You're like, let me just try and envision this real quick.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm just gonna end up, I will eventually do it the correct way. I want to try and see it real quick. All right, so here's where I'm at. We've got breakfast, late night, lunch, dinner, and beverages, as I'm also trying to see if I spelled everything right. Okay, so now for the fun little info sides, I guess. So I have a little bit of a breakfast menu typed up already. Right here, breakfast all day. Oh, that's something else I could put on this side. I could put the hours that is served. So like this one would be served all day. Late night would be like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. or something. Lunch and dinner, noon to 8 p.m. or 10 p.m., whatever. Something like that. So I could put that on the other side. If I wanted to get really crazy too, I guess, and add even more illustrations to this, I could, do like bacon and eggs and waffles and berries and that kind of thing for my breakfast menu illustration, and then, carry that over into the late night, the lunch and dinner, if I wanted to be really specific and give each of those menus its own set of illustrations.
I like that.
Something that
just because we were talking about, we can add the waffles, the
yes,
bacon.
Like, I know. The waffles. Don't worry. I have chicken and waffles on my menu.
You have the chicken wings, so it's like so hefty.
Yes.
You're ready.
Yes.
So we do have a question in the chat for you. Have you done this kind of work for a restaurant before, or for like a fast food restaurant? And how long does it typically take you?
I have never done a full like logo plus collateral work for a restaurant. I've done some logo work for a client for a restaurant, so I was kind of just the designer. They were doing other work for them and they hired me on as a freelancer. And I have done just menus, so they already had their logo and their colors and everything, but they pretty much just had their menus were like printed on printer paper and were designed on Word. So I have done menus before. I really love them, which was kind of what inspired me to choose this type of project for Adobe Live this week, because I just really, really had a lot of fun, putting fonts together and just making something that should be kind of mundane, like a menu, really cool. And I've seen a lot of really cool menus at various restaurants that I've been to, so I feel like, more places should have cool menus. Yeah. It's something that, whoever asked that earlier, getting more projects, go to all your like local restaurants and ask if you can redesign their menus if they don't have cool menus.
Yeah, one of those people who I feel like you go to a restaurant and when there's a bad menu also, it's like, oof. Like you can't help it. Like everyone's sitting there like, oh, look at this font. Yeah. Like you're like that person. Yeah. But that is a good suggestion. Yeah.
All right. So we've got a few items here. Gonna just make my little make a text box for myself that I stay inside of.
Nice. And yeah, just a reminder that we're under 20 minutes now from the portfolio review. So make sure that you're submitting your portfolio, and Whitney and myself will be taking a look at those and providing some feedback in about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to copy all of my few little menu items on here. If you guys have a favorite breakfast thing that you want me to add to the menu, let me know. Got a breakfast burrito, chicken and waffles, bagel breakfast Sammy, avocado toast, cup of bacon.
Cup of
fruit
bacon?
salad.
What is that?
There's a restaurant that's like 2 blocks from me that's one of their menu items. It's just like
Bacon in
a
a cup?
glass with several strips of bacon in it. It's
Kind
just
of
really,
amazing.
it's cool.
So it's, I mean, it's instead of like a side of bacon, it's just,
It's just like it's served in a cup instead of on a plate. That's
haven't
all
heard
it
of that
is.
ever.
But I don't know. It's just like a novelty thing, but
Yeah.
it's really enjoyable. So I was like, yeah, I gotta have that at my fictional restaurant.
Can you imagine? You know what that made me think of? You know, places that have like, well, obviously the place that has like unlimited breadsticks.
Oh, yeah.
But like, can you imagine if it was like unlimited bacon strips?
Oh my gosh.
You're just like, oh, I feel like kind of
yeah,
great.
any breakfast buffet.
Yeah,
That's like,
yeah, but like if they brought it to you in that way, like I'm just thinking of like cup of bacon.
I suppose.
All right, we're having some things. Breakfast pizza, huevos rancheros, which is classic. That does sound good. French toast with Nutella. Oh, sounds so good. Pancake stack, eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, hearty.
Ooh, that's like my
Very
dad's
hearty.
favorite breakfast thing ever.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Anytime
Chicken
we'd go
fried
out
steak.
for breakfast, he would get that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna repeat whatever like menu it is on this side too. Maybe just in whatever color the flip side is.
Alexandra, is there something unique to Milwaukee, like a unique breakfast food item?
Cheese and beer. That's what we eat for every meal. No, I don't really think so. Maybe specific restaurants have like a signature item.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bloody Marys. That's like a huge Milwaukee thing. I mean, not that they're from Milwaukee, but every place in Milwaukee, like everyone goes out to brunch, you always get a Bloody Mary, and there's always like tons of cheese and meat on the skewers that are sticking out of it. So yeah, cheese curds in the Bloody Mary.
Wow.
With a mini beer on the side. So see, cheese and beer. Yeah.
We have more suggestions.
Cool.
Banana pancakes, chilaquiles, so many suggestions. These are good.
Yum. Hot ham and cheese.
Damn cheese.
Thanks, Justin. All right. Let's see. So I'm actually gonna make this a little bit smaller so that I can put my prices over on like kind of in their own column over here across from the description. And this is just the font that was standard. This is Times. So I'm gonna play with some different fonts that I want my menus to be in. Okay, so this is 8, 9. And I think I am gonna grab one of my little icons. I've got a fried egg, so I think I'll use that. Not sure if I want to use the 1 color or the 2 color. And hopefully this won't be too much illustration overkill since we've got all those illustrations on the front side.
Olivier's like, oh, it's breakfast. Never mind. I was thinking about dinner. Forget the wine. My bad.
You know, it's wine o'clock somewhere, right?
It's happy hour somewhere in the world. Is
Yes.
that the, yeah.
Yes. Maybe a little bleeding over the edge a little bit. Make that orange. I think I liked it better like that. But I like that. I like our little colored yolk. I'm gonna do this one. Something like that.
I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, that can stay. That can stay for now.
Yeah.
All right, so now fonts. We've been using this Sweet Sans for all of our supplementary text, and I think in the menus I'm going to introduce another font maybe that I would include in their like full brand package as another font that they can use on their website or in social media, whatever else. So maybe that would just be something that maybe I'll switch this out for something a little bit more interesting, or maybe just the little descriptors down here. These we can go ahead and make those Sweet Sans. Again, if I want to get really ambitious and if they don't change their menu items that often, I could even, you know, do a little illustrated element for each of the menu items. That would kind of just depend on how many menu items there are, if it's something that is going to be changing often or not, that I would have to continue like doing that on a regular basis. Or maybe if this was a client that I had on retainer that I would work with like frequently, then, you know, that's something that I could easily change. If they get a new menu item, I could just draw up another little illustration for whatever that menu item is.
Although we all know a cup of bacon is staying.
Cup of bacon
on
is
their menu
for sure
forever.
staying.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so for now I'm just gonna make all of this Sweet Sans. Let's do... Just do regular. I really like all caps, so we're gonna go all caps. And make this all a little bit smaller. This is really big right now. It was like 12 point. We'll have to make these the same. And I'm gonna have to realign these because I'm still changing this text. So however these end up formatting, I'll just have to change these so that they line up with that. But I'll worry about that later rather than just trying to change them every time I change this text, because it might be several times. Okay, this original text done with. So I'm just gonna try out a few different fonts. Oops. Oops. I'm kind of feeling another script, something that would pair with this, but isn't gonna be like fighting with that. There's something that's a little bit more elongated maybe. So we'll change this from all caps. See what this looks like. Lakeside.
So another nice thing that's now in Illustrator that they came out with is how there's now integration in like Adobe fonts. Is now like you have like thousands of fonts in there, and you don't have to go. Before there was Adobe Typekit, you'd have to go over to the web and you'd have to find what you wanted, right, and then like sync it over there, and it would come and sync back into Illustrator. And now it like everything is just available there, and you can just activate it instead of having to like sync. So it's so much faster.
Yeah. It's a good update.
Yeah.
Not super in love with that. Let's do. Ooh.
Wow, yeah, what was that?
It was like glyphs, bonus glyphs. Palm Canyon Tribe, yes. I like this one.
So Sam's wondering, have you ever created a working font from your hand lettering for a client?
I have not. I've done a lot of little one-off, like if they have a bunch of words that they need, I'll create a bunch of words that they can use throughout. But I have never made a active working font.
Really?
It's something that I would enjoy doing. I think there's just a lot of things on my list right now that I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that someday when I have
the time.
Which I don't know when that ever will be. But yeah, it's definitely something that I would enjoy doing. All right, so I like that one a little bit better. That's cute. All right, so we'll work from that one for now. Just move all of these up. Okay, so I guess, yeah, my artboards are getting a little bit more. Someone commented on that earlier, saying that they were super organized. Like, I don't know. It's still not too bad, but I just keep copying and pasting and making. All right, so let's do all of the names of these a little bit more bold.
So Sam was wondering, how do you activate a font in Illustrator? So when you go over to your character panel and you're in your fonts, on the very right-hand side, you'll see sort of like the little activation, like Creative Cloud, and you can click on that. And if it's already synced, it'll just be the cloud with like a little check mark on it. And there's now like the different filters. So like in Typekit before, where how you could search through like different classifications or properties, like you can now do that within your character panel in Illustrator, which is really nice.
I was trying to see here if I wanted, I think maybe I'll do a sentence or a title case here for the little descriptions rather than having everything be all caps.
This could be a difficult question to ask, but someone in the chat sort of wondering, do you have like a favorite font or like that you use often in your work? I know. Or like, you know, light, bold, regular fonts, anything along those lines.
I feel like I always do this, like all caps, tracked out like 100 or 200 in a bold font. I also just really, it gives a font so much like of a different life when you outline it, and it definitely doesn't work for all fonts, but I think any like sans serif, anything that's a little bit wider looks really nice outlined. But yeah, I think I usually work with like my own hand lettered scripts paired with some kind of sans serif. So I feel like I have a pocket full of sans serifs that I usually go to. Sweet Sans is one of them. Like Brandon Grotesque. I was really stuck on Gotham for a while. Like always used Gotham bold for like everything. But yeah, it kind of switches around. Yeah, I don't know.
And also a reminder, we're at the last 5 minutes before you can submit for words.
Words.
5
Word
more
salad.
minutes until we review the portfolios for today. So make sure that you're submitting those. You have 5 more minutes to do so. Yeah.
All right, so I'm kind of just changing a few of these, and then I'll zoom out and see if I'm liking how all of that looks together. And again, my numbers aren't lined up anymore because I've been changing these, but yeah, I like that. I like how those look together. I think that name stands out a lot more than when they're just lined up like that and all in all caps. So. Oh no. Oh boy, what have I done? My computer's freaking out.
Don't you love it when everyone's watching? And
Yes,
your computer
okay,
starts-
okay, there we go.
So you have people in the chat listing their favorite fonts. We have Courier New, Circular,
Yeah,
Audi.
I really like, I've really been getting into like mono space fonts, I guess,
Yeah.
lately. Yeah. I like a good slab serif once in a while. Really anything that looks old, I guess.
Really? I didn't know that you liked vintage
I don't.
things. I'm shocked.
I hate
Wow.
old stuff. Yeah. Where'd it go? Okay. Yeah. So now that I'm pretty happy with how this is going, I can continue on with these. I will just have to see. Let's make all of this 12 point. Oh, just kidding. Maybe 14. And then I will make this 14 so that I can have all of these on the same lines. They'll all line up.
Oh, Mrs.
cool.
Eves. That is a nice typeface as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Rockwell, king of the slab serifs. Yes. And some of this I'll go in and, I don't know, change how it's lined up, or if there's copy that needs to be changed to not have all these little orphans, and change those. Maybe just, I don't know, bumping some things down, some stuff that doesn't need to be capitalized, stuff like that, like small edits. And that's stuff too that I could just change when I'm doing my final layout in like InDesign. You guys have a minute left. All right. Will I finish in time?
Yes, I believe.
Yes. And last but not least,
That fruit parfait.
that fruit parfait. It's a good breakfast.
Oh, that makes me so. I could definitely go for a fruit parfait.
My
right
stomach
now.
just growled like so bad too. It's
Yeah,
all
I feel
the
it's,
food.
it's because
It's
all
the
we've been doing is talking about food, of course, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of a start of how I would go into that. You know, maybe I'll add some more, or if there's just all this blank space, there's some like regulatory stuff I would put down here in the fine print, like do not consume raw eggs, meat, fish, all that kind of stuff. That I leave some space for at the bottom. You know, maybe just do a couple other illustrations that bleed off of the edges or something like that. But that's at least the little start of that.
Oh, it looks so good. Got through it.
Got
so
through
good.
it. Did it.
Finish. And with that, we are at the deadline for the submission. So we are going to head on over to another galaxy, another time and space. It will all become clear in a minute when we literally head to space. So we are going to be taking a look at portfolios now. So bear with us and stay tuned because we are heading to space. We're back in space.
In space.
And it is time to review some of your portfolios. So thank you for sending these in. How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Yeah?
The air is different up here.
Oh, yeah? Like,
Yeah.
in what way? I mean, you got your helmet open, so I feel like it's...
It doesn't close.
Yeah, with the hat situation, I don't know.
Oh, boy. Okay.
It's
yeah.
not a struggle at all.
Whew.
We've got this.
Maybe I should have taken the hat off. I don't know. But yeah.
It's
feel-
classy in space.
Feeling great. Oh,
Yeah.
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 Gotta care about fashion. All right. What do we got?
Okay, so we are going to take a look at Pierce's portfolio.
Awesome.
So any initial thoughts you have as we start to just
Ooh.
look before we dive into any projects here?
Mm-hmm. I'm liking some of the color palettes that I'm seeing. Very nice. Some bright colors, some more muted, like really classy looking things in here. That middle second row is like real classy. The gold and the dark.
Yeah, coming
dig
all
it.
the way. So looks like Pierce is from the UK
Nice.
and an independent graphic designer. So I like that you added like some information about yourself in this section here because I feel like sometimes people leave it like completely empty, but it's nice to just like have a little bit more info about your background or like what you're interested in, what type of work you do or you want to do.
Totally.
So that's really nice.
I feel like some of those random things too can really help you connect with the client. Like, I don't know, even if you guys just have the same hobbies, like that can be a talking point for you and a future client. So you never know.
All right, so let's hop into maybe one of these projects and take a look. Is there
Yeah.
one that you want to specifically look at first?
Let's do that middle one. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Bicycle
Super
crest
cool.
design. So base.
Nice.
It's nice having that description at the top so we know like right away sort of what we're going to be taking a look at.
Very cool. I love the detail. Like it's detailed, but it's still very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of your lines are very strategic.
And it's nice seeing it on, this is really nice work, like seeing it also as just sort of like the hero, big, clean design, but then also seeing it like on actual elements, like seeing it on the t-shirt, seeing it on the hat. Looks like realistic enough as well. Taking this off for a second. It's the echo really gets ya.
Yeah. Do they hear that, or am I the only one hearing that? I can like put my head up.
I mean, what are you hearing? Are you hearing like
I hear
another
my
voice?
echo.
Because, oh, okay. Your echo. Okay.
Yes, just my echo. I'll just like pull it out here
There
so
you go.
that I'm not talking.
Yeah. And I also
Yeah,
love like
that's
really
awesome.
big, beautiful images that you have are really clean. This is really nice work.
Yeah.
And it just looks really realistic in the way that you've executed on it as well. So the mock-ups are really nice.
Definitely. Yeah, that's very well done.
Cool. Let's
I
take
like
a-
that little,
Here
sorry,
we go.
that little, just the word mark too, that, you know, you can pull that out of that giant detailed one if it needs to be just a small mark on something. I feel like that's always so smart to have when your main mark is really detailed.
Yeah.
Just having something that you can pull out if it has to appear at a really small size.
Yeah, I like on the hat where it's just like just the ram, I believe, right? And then you have your mark on the side here, which is nice.
Yeah. Cool. Well done.
Awesome. Let's take a look at another one. Do you have another one that's calling you.
Maybe that like newspaper looking thing right next to
one?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for print. So. Okay, so what is this? Local Film Network, Scotland.
Launching their inaugural film festival. They needed a logo design as well as promotional material for the festival itself.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
So it looks like these were actually printed, and then
Yeah.
you're documenting
Looks
them,
like it.
which is nice as well.
Yeah. So, okay, so this was logo design, and then this printed piece was designed as well? Is that what you're understanding from that?
I believe so. I think like they
Okay.
need a logo design, so definitely the logo design. And then promotional material, I believe, would probably have been designed as well.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Really nice, bold, clean palette. Black and white and yellow. It's a good.
Yeah, a lot of layering
Good
and like
call.
fun sort of elements happening here, which I like.
Yeah. This is like a multi-page thing.
There's a lot, yeah.
That's really nice.
I would even like, because you are documenting actual physical, like this one is tangible, like you had this printed and now you're actually taking photos of it versus the other one you're doing sort of like mock-ups yourself. I would be like really sort of conscious about like the background of what you're, like the setting that you're taking your photo on, because I am getting a little distracted by like some of the angles and the lines that are happening in like the wood grain in the background or like the cutoff here. So I would just be like very conscious about the surface that you have underneath that you're taking these photos of, just so that your work like really shines through.
Yeah. Good comment. I like that.
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's so
cool, nice perspective. And yeah, having someone like reading that and interacting with it versus having it just laying flat on the table, I think is really nice. So this is another, like more of a magazine, it looks like.
So many materials here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up
Cool.
on the backside.
Yeah, everything is very, like it all ties together really well.
So
all
here
of
we
the
go. So we
pieces
have
that you
sort of
worked
the
on.
logo design,
Okay.
by promotional, and then
Cool.
the newspaper print.
Very nice. Newspaper print. Newspaper club.
Awesome. Design looks great, and
Yeah.
I think just being conscious of like how you're documenting like physical pieces, but it looks really nice. I'm interested in taking. You have like your banner image as which is one of the artworks. I kind of want to
Yeah.
take a quick look
Let's
at
take a look at that.
this one here.
Ooh.
Oh, here we go. I haven't even read the text and just see a lot going on down
Passion
here.
for poster design and love of stand-up comedy. Cool.
Okay.
Very excited.
Wow.
What? Oh, that's awesome. Ooh.
There's so much to look
That
at.
one's trippy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this one's
I like
very
that.
collage.
Yeah.
A lot of textures.
Sorry, I might have missed it up at the top. What are these for? Or, okay. Some of...
And I think that's like a good thing to consider is like, as we're looking through it, we're kind of wondering like, what did you do on these pieces? Like, what was it for? And
Like, is this a postcard? Or is this a poster? Or, you know, what... Will these exist? Did these exist in print or online? Or, yeah. But yeah, these are really fun.
all right, we have the one that is
Oh,
the-
yes. Yep.
your hero.
So it looks like
A lot of different
some
styles.
illustration.
Yeah, like a
there's
ton of different styles here.
illustration and...
So Pierce is saying is posters.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I like that that illustration style a lot, that above one.
Ah, here we go. Yeah, a lot more.
Cool. Very nice. Yeah, that's really helpful seeing it in that application.
Yeah, scroll down to the bottom. We're there. We made it.
Gotcha.
We're good.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I
these
would
are
almost
really nice.
suggest like doing maybe like one at the top, maybe like one right away where it's sort of like we have a sense of like the poster as well, just so we know sort of what we're looking at in some sense contextually, and then you can do sort of all the rest.
Definitely. Yeah, really nice sense of like space in all of these that I've seen so far. Nice,
here's
nice
this one.
layout. Oh, yes. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it would be kind of nice, at least for this one, like you had like the really detailed one, which is great. Like I love seeing that one, but I also like seeing it in context of what it's going to be and sort of the poster would be nice. Maybe there's one up at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
This is the full one there, yeah. I like this style here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this project definitely shows a wide variety of skills.
Yeah, it definitely shows your range and style, for sure.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, that last one.
Cool. Let's take a look at maybe one more here, and then we can take a look at another project. Anything that's calling out at you?
Maybe one of these illustration ones,
Okay.
one of those like faces.
This one?
Sure.
This one?
Yeah, either of those.
Okay. Poster illustration and design for two of Scotland's finest up-and-coming stand-up comedy talents.
Cool. More stand-up. Yeah,
That's
this is
fun.
really nice. It is really cool seeing that range, and from that like very first project that was very geometric and modular, that logo design, and seeing this more organic. Like this is still kind of geometric, I suppose, with some of the shapes, but it's a really nice range that you're showing. That's cool.
Ah, okay. Some layering
Nice.
here.
Okay, cool.
It's nice seeing it sort of on different applications too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I really like what's happening with the type too. Like you've got a lot of different styles going on, and a lot of different fonts, or maybe you even created some of those. I think because your color palette is staying super simple and you have things organized into these two sides, I still think it works really nicely together, even though, there are so many different fonts on this.
Yeah. Awesome job. Thank you, Pierce, for letting us take
Nice
a look at your
job.
portfolio. Very, like, so much variety. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So we're going to take a look at, we have Liz's
Ooh,
portfolio, and
wonderful.
she's from the Netherlands. 22-year-old studying communication and multimedia design, focused on graphic design, concepting, and photography.
Cool.
Besides that, big passion for music. Also obsessed with coffee and pizza.
Nice.
Solid obsessions.
Good. Yeah, that is solid.
But like I love, being able to read and get to know you a little bit more in this section, so that's nice.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, very dark and minimal. I like it.
Yeah.
Can we look at that Playground Thursday?
Let's see this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ooh, that's some really. I'm just you guys.
This is
The
it, yeah.
typography. Like, this looks. I mean, maybe it was a font that you just modified slightly, but it totally looks like something that could have been created from scratch. I really like it. It's like, I don't know. It's nice and contained. Like you could fit it into a circle or a shape that we all know that I really like. But it's still like, it's got some movement in it. Very nice. Cool. All right.
Yeah, I like this.
Let's see.
So far.
And
like
all
the
these little
drawn
illustrations
elements too. Wait
oh
a
my
second.
gosh.
This is very up your alley right now.
It is. This added photo too. I love that green
Yeah.
little GIF.
I like
GIF.
that.
GIF.
Oh, and then some like sort of iterations
Nice.
on this, which I like seeing as well.
Yeah. I would love. Is that the end of it?
Yes.
Okay. I would love to just, have a little blurb or something that kind of talks about, I mean, I'm assuming this is a logo and then some supporting elements, but would love to hear what it's for, or,
Yeah.
what this photo has going on with it, how that ties in, but
Yeah,
it
I love
all
how
looks
minimal
very
it
nice.
is, but
Yeah.
it is great to have like a little bit more context to it.
Yeah.
I
Very
like the
cool.
little records.
Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. Let's take a look at, I mean, I can't ignore the
Yeah.
Childish Gambino
No.
happening here.
Yeah. that type too. Really like that. Don't know if that's a font or something that you constructed, but yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice to know,
like
yeah,
it.
if you made that font yourself. Paste.
Cool. Ooh. See, like just little stuff like that hand-drawn texture of the like circling. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Got a good handle on layout, I feel, and like combining photography elements with typography really well.
And it's nice. I feel like the flow of this is really nice. We have sort of like some larger elements, but then like, you know, you're kind of seeing multiple sort of smaller pieces and then going back to like something large. Like it's flowing pretty nicely as well.
I like this grainy texture too that you have going just throughout the project. It's a nice, brings everything together and really unifies it.
Yeah, even on the background here. Yeah, that's nice. Awesome, Liz.
Cool.
That's cool. All right, what's the next one you want to take a look at?
You scroll down a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe that like sketchbook one.
This one here?
Yeah.
Oh, of Casey.
Cool. All right, so you've got some illustration skills too. That's cool. I like the way that you have this presented too, like just photographing your sketchbook in a really simple way. I think it's cool. I don't know, we only looked at a few of your projects, but like seeing this style of illustration incorporated into like something with type or a full project would be really cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is nice, like a nice photograph. Like it's very much composed, which is nice as well. Yeah. And the black background, it's thought out well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Maybe let's look at something that might be a bit different. We have the travel adventure.
Nice. Some mock-ups of some business cards.
Yeah.
Always good to see. Web elements.
I like the little
Ooh.
tuck under the wing there.
That's
It's
a nice touch. I like that you have incorporated some color into this one. It's still very subtle, like it's not black and white, but it's like cream and navy, so it's still that really subtle minimal look, but gives it its own like ownable colors and identity.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a cool little mock-up.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like sort of also playing with some of the edges here. Not just having just like super segmented areas here.
Totally. Yeah, it flows really well.
Yeah, and again, like potentially having a little bit of a description
Yeah.
as to like what you're making this for. But it's very clean, well composed. All right, maybe we'll take a look at one more project.
Cool.
What are you thinking?
That one that you're hovering.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
How do you think you say this?
Jupum?
What was it?
Jupum?
Jupum. Okay, I was gonna go Jupum.
Jupum?
I don't know.
I'm gonna slaughter it. I'm just
Tomato,
gonna talk
tomato.
about it. Yeah. Yeah.
I assume neither of us were planning on like, actually saying the word, but then I figured why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, some nice type exploration there. And that first, just the initial one, I love that you took what I'm assuming is just a standard font and just like elongated that P. I feel like it's really ownable and unique.
Yeah, I mean, but so far it's like I don't know necessarily what it's for.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see like, ooh, if we get a feel for like what this is going to be for.
That texture again, really nice.
Okay, so we have more elements here: the grain effect, the typography.
The type. Okay, electronic music artist. Cool. Some nice effects with those icons and that.
Yeah, this is sort of
texture.
fun.
Yeah.
Sort of mimicking like this that's happening in like the sand.
Yeah.
DJ branding. There we go.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Wait, did those
Maybe I
other
should have
ones
read
say
that.
it on the bottom too?
I know now. I'm
Whoops.
like, my bad.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, just having
DJ
even.
branding.
Oh,
What
what's
is-
happening?
What is that? Paco, is that you? Wait, what is
What was
happening?
that?
Oh man,
How'd you do that?
what is? Yeah,
Just go see if you can do it
Paco,
again.
was that you? That was definitely you. I mean, it can't not be you.
I don't know what you're talking
I don't know how he could
Okay.
go on your screen.
We'll ignore
I
it.
don't know. Try and do it. Do what you just did and see if it happens again.
It's not gonna happen again.
You
Unless
just like
he makes
went
it happen.
like back and forth. Okay, yeah.
So distracting.
Anyways,
You know what? Yeah, that's gonna happen now. Paco, that's what you got. I don't even I don't know if it was you or not. Now I feel bad if it wasn't you, and now I'm doing. Oh my god! Oh my god! Darn it! This is what I get for engaging in this war.
guys, I'm not even part of this.
Yeah, I have to go to
You
a lighter
guys.
screen now because that was so freaky. This time I mean it when I say I might not come back on the live stream. This was it for me. That one was actually freaky.
Unsafe.
You were scared, right?
It just startled me. I was not expecting that.
so fast.
Shenanigans, you guys. Last day.
No, Paco.
Last
no,
day shenanigans.
That's it. That's it for me. Nope. Yeah.
I'm going back. Yeah. Go
Later.
back to space. Never again.
All right, I guess I'll wrap this up. I'll
Cool,
actually be
cool,
good. Okay,
cool.
we'll take a minute here. Coming back, I don't even know what to do this way. It's been so nice having you on the stream
Thank
with
you.
us for
I
the
really
past
enjoyed it.
3 days.
Yeah.
It's been great, and like seeing the amount of work and like your process, I think has been really nice. Like I know you say like it's hard with like so many people watching you
For sure.
and like making all those decisions.
I'm
But
just
it's-
like trying to answer questions, and I'm like realizing like, oh, I'm not working because I'm talking, or I'll try to work and talk at the same time, and then I'm really just moving a rectangle around the artboard. Like I realized I was doing that a couple times, but you know.
Yeah. It's been awesome. And we appreciate
a lot
all
of
of
fun.
you guys on the chat who've been watching the streams for the past 3 days or even just tuning in for today's. It's been awesome. Other than zombie baby situation that just
Zombie
happened again.
babies.
Paco. Whatever. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you guys. Thank you.